Welcome to Business Authority Radio, bringing you insights from today's thought leaders, professionals, and influencers. With your hosts, Neil Howe and Craig Williams.
Welcome to another edition of Business Authority Radio. We have some veterans here, and this is a special occasion. We're in the holiday season, and we don't hold one day over another here at Business Authority Radio. We try to appreciate every day for what it is. And we've got Obini, and he goes by
Obi.
Mm-hmm. Like Juan Kenobi.
Yeah,
that's the first thing I think about.
Everybody
right?
gets
That's sage, and that is, folks, especially in business and in supporting families. And Belinda, his lovely wife, Belinda. Last time we had a conversation with these all-stars, we were just talking about their entrepreneurship, them being mavens and authorities in the industries, accounting, in the legal industry. Belinda even has a cookbook, folks, so you'll hear about that later on as well. But today's conversation really stems around their passion, and that's being family and marriage and family. And since our last conversation, they've added some hardware to these incredible home that they have. The shelving is probably not going to have too much room for a lot of the other work that they're going to have, but they have reached best-selling author status in two of their latest books, Outserve Your Spouse and The Secret Society of Happy Marriages. And the exciting thing, outside of them being number one bestsellers, that's not an easy feat, as anyone in the audience knows. It's just that the core of what they're about is who they're being. And the first two letters of best is B. And that's one thing I love about this couple. The first two letters of Belinda's name is B. So she just can't. She's hitting it all the time. But the titles of these books, and we're going to get into that right away. The Secret Society of Happy Marriages. It's not that it's this kind of cult or closed society. It's just that it's been a secret of couples that are willing to serve or outserve their spouse. And it's been a secret. We don't hear enough about happy marriages. It's not that it's not that there aren't happy marriages out there. It's just that we don't hear enough of it. So we're gonna go ladies first today, Obi. And Belinda, tell me a little bit about what has happened since we've transpired. We've got some incredible miracle news, and pun intended, in the family. There's been a lot going on, and what happens in those people who are about doing and being in life, they don't have time to announce everything when it comes. They're just being who they are, and I look at that as an inspiration. If you're trying to be an inspiration or you're telling people that you're an inspiration, 9 times out of 10 you're not. But when you're being who you have been called to be, and you're fulfilling your purpose and living your life as you all do, it's evident. And once again, we're looking at some of those results and some of the outcomes. So tell us a little bit about what's happened since our last conversation.
Okay, well, first of all, Craig, I want to tell you thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank you for giving us this, the privilege to work with you and to put our work out to the world in such a unique way. So we're really excited about this opportunity as well as our future together. So first off, we're super duper excited to welcome our new miracle, like you mentioned. The Lord has a way of just giving us exactly what we need. And as we sit here today and we think about, would we have chosen this for ourselves? Prior to, we would say no. But being in it and seeing what it has made of us, we could not have known that this is exactly what we needed. We have 5 other children, and for the Lord to give us a child that most people their families would probably fall apart. I mean, that's simply what it is. I mean, such a beautiful little girl, such a delicate situation with a heart condition that by the time she was 4 months old, they said that she would need open heart surgery.
Wow.
However, because she's a superstar, she really didn't need it at 6 months, but they said, okay, it's about time that we go ahead and give her the surgery. And the Lord has worked in mysterious ways. They said that she would be in the hospital 2 to 3 weeks. She was out within 5 days.
Wow.
She was out of the intensive care unit quickly. So, I mean, those are just a few things in which the Lord has worked within this situation. And it's so funny that most people think, Lord, just remove the mountain. Just remove the mountain, Jesus. But he says, no, I'm going to give you the strength to go over the mountain.
Yes, because if you move it, somebody else has got to deal with it, right? And they might not be as equipped as you all have been.
Cross, right? So I'm grateful because as a result, it has made us stronger. It has created just a bond within our family.
A stronger bond, I'd say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just that we didn't know we needed. So we're grateful for this experience, like I said to you, Craig. And I really could not have asked for a better, opportunity to raise and just to be a part of her life, because she truly is a miracle.
Wow. And these books that you all have been working on, I mean, what's the life of the books? These books didn't just come out of you. I mean, you didn't write them. You were a bestseller on Outserve Your Spouse in September, and then November, was it November the next month?
Yeah.
You were bestseller for the Secret Society of Happy Marriages. How long were those books in the works?
It's interesting. They were actually in the works for a couple of years. We had gotten the information together, and my husband and I, we have several books.
Yes. She's, like we said, she even has a cookbook, and I saw it, and it looks great.
Thank you so much. But yeah, we have several books together, and we just decided, you know what? This is what our audience needs. Let's just put it in writing now so that they can have, quicker access to it.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And the Lord even blessed us to where we spent Valentine's Day together last year. And on that weekend, we were able to come up and completely finish from the beginning to the end, Outserve Your Spouse.
Gotcha. Yeah. And see, I know you all hear that life in the background, but the great thing about that is there are no excuses with this couple. Once again, they have 6 children. They have a number of businesses that they are managing. They've been able to get that work out and put it out into the stratosphere for everyone else to experience and share.
Yes.
So we challenge you all out there. We know there's a great work in all of us, because we've been created by something greater than ourselves. And I put that challenge out there that the Ndus are being the example that we all want to see. And they're being the example that they want to see, but they're not busy touting their own trumpet or embracing everybody and telling them, hey, you need to look at this. They're just doing it. And once again, I'd like to challenge the audience to just step up. So, Obi.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about the part that you're playing in there, outside of being an incredible father and supporting husband to this Wonder Woman over here. Tell me what's been important to you in this journey with the new addition, the miracle to the family, and not so much the pomp and circumstance around the books, because the book has established itself. The work has made room for it.
Right.
The gifts have been making room for themselves through the book. It's just a way of communicating and capturing that so other people can follow along with it. Mm-hmm. But tell me what this journey has been like for you in a sense of your growth.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's been amazing. I've always been a person who focused on real faith. And what I mean by that is it's easy to go to church, right? It's easy to go through the motions. It's easy to pray, get on your knees and pray. It's easy to believe in God during good times. But when everything around you is telling you the opposite of what your faith is telling you, and you can still hang on to that faith over that, that's real faith. And so, for our daughter, Miracle, we named her Miracle because she truly is a miracle. My wife talked about the fact that, the doctors and the surgery and all that. But if I could just paint a picture in about 15 seconds for you, you'll understand what I mean by real faith.
Yeah.
So 6-month-old baby, open heart surgery. They literally hook her lungs up to a machine, hook her heart up to a machine, her body up to a machine that pumps blood for her. The other machine is breathing for her. Then they stop her heart from beating.
Wow. And that scar is almost the size of her body.
Her body. You know what I'm saying? And so they literally have to do that. They stop the heart from beating.
Wow.
That gap between when they stop the heart from beating and when they restart the heart is where faith lives. Because what happens if the light goes out? What happens if there's a circuit in the board in the machine that wants to act up all of a sudden? I mean, you follow me?
Most definitely.
So of course it took everything in me to stay out of the room and not run and go rescue my baby.
Yes.
But nonetheless, so she came out flying colors, and my wife said 5 days. We left on the 5th day, but she was ready to go on the 4th day. We left on the 5th morning. So 6-month-old open heart surgery. What is that? 4 days later, she's ready to go. So that to me, real faith. And when you talk about the books, the thing that has been amazing about them is these books came out of things that we went through in our life. You know, it wasn't that we read a book and wanted to take another idea and put on it. No, like outserve your spouse came from moments in our life, in our marriage, where we realized that the reason we're bickering at each other, the reason we're going at it, is because we stopped serving each other, and now we want to actually almost hurt each other, either with our words or other, foolish things. And I see a lot of couples fall into that. So rather than taking what God opened us to in that moment and being selfish with it, we decide, we're like, man, babe, we just got over something that
incredible
that normally would have killed a couple. But here we are with this new information and this new renewed love. Just a moment ago, we were at odd ends, and 2 minutes later, here we are. And that book was written in 24 hours. We actually, the idea, the whole thing came in 24 hours. We put it out. Yes, my wife is right in that the magic and the energy and all of that has been for years, but that moment defined that book.
Wow.
And then the last book, Join the Secret Side of Happy Marriages. You're so right. It's just like the news. You turn on the news and it's always negative, right?
Yeah.
But how much good news is out there? And it just never gets touched on. So, you see divorce this, divorce that. The divorce rate is at 50%, 60%. And I get it. Sometimes people just didn't work out. I understand. I'm not judging anyone. But what I'm saying is, how about the 40%?
Yeah.
Because if divorce rate is at 60, that means 40% are happy.
Yeah.
How come we don't talk about the 40%? How come we don't talk about the 50%, depending on who gave you the percentage, right? So my point is, the Secret Side of Happy Marriages, where we said, look, we're not going to be some negative news company. We're going to touch about and talk about the happiness of marriage, the bliss side of it, what God intended. Hey, we're happy, but we went through it too. We struggled too. There were times I sat and I'm like, man, did I make the right choice? And I have to sit back and say, you know what? I believe in God. Of course I made the right choice. I just may not be making the right choice in this moment, in this set of circumstances I'm dealing with. But nonetheless, no. For me to question if I made the right choice means I'm questioning my God. Means I'm questioning my Creator. He led me to her. So that's right. What may be wrong is how I'm handling the circumstance.
How you're responding. Yeah. So that's awesome. This conversation is definitely not a religious one. It's more. It's a principle one.
That's right.
It seems like you all have matured from that spousal centered or family centered, and you've come back to, and a lot of this journey has brought you back to the principle center, and that principle being the truth.
Absolutely.
And about who you are and who you're being.
That's
and that's the power that I see. That's what sustains, and that's what the power I see in both of these the excellent works that you all have put out, and the work that is yet to come. Let's touch on one more thing, and that being this podcast that's coming up. I understand outside of the courses that you all have to offer, the retreats or advances, whatever we decide in a sense, these opportunities for couples to come together and families to come together to empower one another, because it does take a community. It's like they talk about a village. It takes the village to raise a child. It takes a village for all of us to mature and grow. And it sounds like you all have been laying the groundwork, and you've used things that you have gifts and skills being, quote, business to do that, influence. I mean, we're in a capitalistic society here in America, and if you're not moving the needle on the balance on your checking account or your balance on your savings account or just any account for that matter, there really isn't really much for people to talk about, and you have to, be real about all of our responsibilities. And what you all have done is you've been successful in a number of businesses, and those businesses weren't established just for you all. You created communities, small communities and environments for other people to grow with their business, whether it be in accounting, whether it be in the legal industry. And it's not something that you have to dictate. You're part of systems, and you're creating systems for others so that you could step back and allow others to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the power of that. And it seems like you're taking those same fundamentals into what you're about to step into with these conversations and experiences that you're creating for couples and marriages to have those same breakdowns so they can have breakthroughs. Because some of them are having breakdowns on their own, but sometimes you have to break them down a little bit more,
right? So
that the breakthrough can come. And so the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like there's going to be quite a few conversations that you're going to, podcasting is popular now because everybody realizes the power of it.
Right.
And it's really that opportunity to get that content out there, those conversations out there, because we're in an on-demand society and people love to binge watch. We like to binge eat, and we certainly binge listen to a lot of stuff. So tell us a little bit more about the podcast and the code. It has something to do with some code, but we're not going to roll out the title now. But tell us a little bit about what you want to share and what you want to see to come out on the other side of these conversations that you're creating for yourself and others.
Yeah. So our purpose is definitely to save families, to save marriages. And so the results we would love to see, and I know that we're going to definitely experience with this podcast, is families having the opportunity to stay together, families having the opportunity to have another option outside of traditional marriage counseling or traditional marriage consulting.
Because you're certified, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're both certified.
My husband and I are certified marriage counselors through Marriage Today, so we're really excited about that. And the special thing about our particular marriage programs and how we consult or talk or lead other couples is not necessarily, like I mentioned, through traditional counseling, but it's through not looking at the past, but focusing on because it never really is, oh, well, she talked bad about me to her best friend. Yeah. What caused that? Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So it was not the result that most people focus on, and that hurt, but we look a little bit deeper and we help individuals to deal with that. And why is it? And sometimes it's based on their past or childhood. Yeah. And they have like ways of being, and they even, we find a lot of couples that have what we call them file cabinets that they've been storing for years, and those file cabinets have gone from relationship to relationship, and now they're finally married and they love their spouse, they love each other, but they just don't know how to look at their spouse or their significant other without those file cabinets being present. So what our programs do is that we help you to remove the file, to empty out the file cabinets, and to put on a clear set of lens so that you can seriously deal with your partner authentically, honestly, from a place of love, from a place of service. Wow. And realizing too that, listen, I am here to meet your needs for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And your spouse also agreeing the same thing. I'm here to, they're here to meet your needs for the rest of our lives. So if we realize that we are the only two people on the face of the earth that really truly have each other's back, there is no room for stabbing the other one in the back. Yeah. Because I've just stabbed myself.
Yeah, exactly. And you see the power of creating communities. That's the other thing in our conversations. It's cool to be out here at this address, but everybody doesn't have the opportunity to live out here with you. So you're interested in creating more community so that there's more accountability for each other. Absolutely. And supporting, maybe there's something that he could speak into another husband's life, or even speak into another spouse's life, that her husband just can't hear because he's just too close. That's just how it is. I mean, it's our
human
nature.
nature.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's going to be a lot of experiences that you're creating from the experiences that you've had. And we're in the experiential age. We're in that place where people, everything's on demand, but we still are losing that personal connection and that opportunity to really experience life collectively in community.
Right.
And
because we haven't been safe for each other.
Yeah.
Everyone's so busy tearing each other down. And like you said, community is so important. We actually have a program set up for that. It's the Covenant Marriages and Ambassador Program, and we'll get more into that later.
Yeah.
And we are definitely looking to create not just a community, but a group of friends all across North America and actually all across the world, so that we can collectively work together and eventually get together at an advance, so that we can help to propel each other to the next level in marriage, because we know where to go to watch the junk on TV. We know
There's
where
a lot of
to
content
go
for that.
exactly to help to destroy your family. I mean, those resources are easy and simple, but having a solid rock resource that you can that's always there, that you can consistently go to, that can help to build you up, and vice versa. We need you just as much as you need us.
Wow. Sounds like there's going to be some introductions to some guests on your show to speak to. So it's not just going to be you or her talking. It's going to be a collective of both of you bringing together a team of individuals, so that, because we can all learn from each other. So
absolutely.
Man, I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, me too, man. It's funny. I can't wait till it starts to hear what we got to say. You know what I mean? but no, so on a more serious note, man, and a couple of things occurred to me as my wife was talking and you were asking the questions. One word, authentic.
Yes.
Authenticity. That is a word that is starting to become so scarce in this app, technology, social media experience, the word authenticity. And I look back at the songwriters and the folks who wrote movies when I was growing up, and there was a texture to that experience, the songs you heard. There was the woman who sang that song from that pain she had. And you can feel it in the lyrics of the words
passion,
and the depth. And you're like, man, she sang that song. But it was from an experience she had. So when you bring up community, that's the other thing that occurred for me, is that, they've done studies, and people who cheated in a marriage, as an example, when they went and interviewed that person, they had a support system. In other words, their friends were cheating. And then their friends were cheating. And then so when you have a good, healthy marriage, they also have a support system, because their friends are in happy marriages. They want to get around other happy marriages.
Most definitely.
Being Nigerian, you talk about that whole, it takes a village to raise a child. Most people only think that African proverb applies to children. No, it applies to every facet
universal.
of your life.
It's a principle.
It's not just you and your wife that make your marriage work. It's you, your wife, and your friends' marriages.
The influences,
and the influences
the environment,
around, right? And then if I could add one last thing, here's what I would say why I'm so excited about the podcast piece. The podcast piece is two things. One, if I took a needle and I threw it at you, you would feel it. But if I tied that needle to the end of a stake and drove it through your heart, that's a whole nother feeling.
A whole nother experience.
Exactly. So I liken the throwing the needle to maybe you picking up one of our books. Maybe you watching, some excerpt on social media, 2-minute clips of something we did. But when you get to listen to the podcast and you get to hear the inflection in the person's voice, and you feel the power, and although my wife goes to something that I may have done to her in the past that really hurt her, you can feel that pain. The texture is different.
Most definitely.
So that's the one piece that makes me excited about the podcast, is because we get to give that extra oomph, right? In the South, they say if you cook something that tastes good, and you're like, man, it's great, but I feel like it's missing
something.
And then you put the salt, and you're like, that's what it was, right? And so the podcast is like that salt. It's just going to change it. So the last thing I would say for me, that why I'm excited about the podcast, and this one is really what's at the heart of it for me personally, is we have 6 children. Every single one of them came with an umbilical cord and not an instruction manual. And last time I checked, marriages come with rings and no instruction manual.
There you go.
And that's why most people are messing it up. The red light on my VCR, the young folks probably don't even know what I just said. The red light on my VCR was blinking for years, Craig. You know why? Because I never read the manual. But you come in, I knew how to play, I knew how to turn it on, but why is that red light always blinking? it because nobody took the time to read the manual.
Exactly.
And so for me personally, my thing is like, man, if marriage is one of the biggest decisions of your life, how come we don't have a blueprint? How come we don't have a format to follow?
Wow.
And that's what this podcast is going to be.
Well, I got the answer for that. And the format is the authentic, transparent individuals who have gone through that experience called marriage.
Right.
And opening their lives as books.
Yes.
Their experiences to others so that they could read the pages of their lives.
Exactly.
And it's taken us this long to get to a point where we're opening ourselves and not sweeping stuff under the carpet or keeping this is our family's secret and all the facades. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm glad I'll be a part of going on that journey with you all. Yeah. And so once again, I'm Craig Williams. We have Obi and Belinda Ndu, #1 bestsellers of The Secret Society of Happy Marriages and Outserve Your Spouse. Join us soon. Their podcast will be here and amongst other social mediums, YouTube, you name it, iHeartRadio. Just stay tuned, folks. But thank you for leaning in. But now you could rest and count the days, the moments that you can get involved and tune in and share them with your friends and your families. And until next time, see you in it.
All right. Take care.
Right. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Business Authority Radio with Neil Howe and Craig Williams. To learn more about the resources mentioned in today's show or to listen to past episodes, visit businessauthorityradio.com.